So this was pure excitement and joy for me. What are your thoughts on Skeleton Crew Goes to Goonies?
Let me fix my camera while I'm talking about this. But I am Star Wars fatigued.
Mhm.
I'm not a hardcore, like really deep into Star Wars. Like I don't read the comics and the books and watch every single show, but I love the original movies. I love some of the spin-offs. I watched some of them. So when heard about this show, I was just like, okay, just another Star Wars. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. And then I saw the trailer and I was just like, this is really different.
Mhm.
You know what? Immediately the vibe that I got from this was Goonies in space. Like that's what I got. And it was like it was magical. It was very cool. And it also kind of reminded me, I guess, because you get the same vibe with Stranger Things and the Goonies as well. But it got me a little bit of vibes of Stranger Things when it comes to just like a bunch of kids. They're going on these adventures. And what I appreciate though is that they're developing a new story with new characters. They're not just rehashing stuff or relying on the old lore again and again and again just to make new content. And that's kind of what I got tired of is them constantly relying on the Skywalker story and characters to kind of like continue on with their franchise that they're just beating to death.
I completely agree. This was something that I've never really felt before. My education through Star Wars was originally through the books. So that whole Luke, I am your father situationship was like a book that I read in school and was hysterical and cried on the floor. But this was so refreshing. And then on top of the Goonies part, I just got pure 80s. It was just pure 80s and it was joy and it felt like Amblin. Remember Amblin Films,
Yes.
which was like Steven Spielberg. You
E.T.
could not tell me this was not a Steven Spielberg, executive producer casting call thing with
Yes.
him. Pure magic, pure joy. I loved everything about this, and which was funny because this was the one I was least looking forward to. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, it's a kid's Star Wars movie. That's cute. We've seen some kids run around before in Star Wars. We had like what was the girl Princess Leia from I forgot which Star Wars it was, but it was the one that had Flea in it from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm forgetting the show. It was
I'm not
good.
sure. Okay.
It was the one with the girl. She was the little girl.
Uh-huh.
It was been a lot. I can't remember. But point is, we've had children in the show before.
Hmm.
And we've had so many iterations. We just came off of the last Star Wars movie, which TV show, which I cannot remember that started Amandla Steinberg. But after a while, it just
Oh,
kind
the
of blends
Acolyte.
in. The Acolyte. So it
Yeah.
just, it blends. Everything starts to just mix and blend in after a while. But this one is fascinating. So we have to go into this. I said 80s vibe. This will be released on December 3rd, and there will be 8 episodes. So this is absolutely interesting. These, it's refreshing right off the bat. I have never seen a suburban town in a Star Wars movie look like this. I was so thrown off. I was so confused. This is the suburban New Republic. And I don't recall recently at all seeing anything like that. And so at first I was like, are we doing Star Wars? Are you sure this is Star Wars? Because this seemed like somebody's, childhood neighborhood in the 80s with Steven Spielberg. But yeah, so this is the New Republic. You have the kids who, and it kind of has the same format of, don't you want to do something exciting and adventurous with your life? Let's be a little bit rebellious. And you have the two kids, the two girls, where not the two girls, one boy, one girl, and they're being a little bit rebellious and they're chasing down in the streets. And so the boy, what's interesting, he ends up finding something in the woods. and it's just this whole spaceship. So then right there, I'm like, oh, magic. And he seems to be protected by a droid, which is an elephant, by the way, which more fascinating. I just love how that is animated and kid-like. And so then they end up finding, this whole spaceship, and then they just take off. And you see that their parents are strict, but they're not there. And it's just basically an adventure without the parents, and they end up in a whole new universe. And this is just all this adventure that happens. The kids are almost killed, by the way, until they saved by Jude Law, who may be a Jedi,
Yeah.
which we don't know which kind of Jedi, because he's like, I'll make a deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't trust anybody. Like, why? You're trying to, do something with these kids. You're going to use them. This is not nice. So that whole thing, he wanted to create a partnership and he go in this little ragtag gang. And again, Goonies, Goonies, Goonies. And I loved it. Any part of the action that you was like, that's cute.
Nothing in particular. They, I really like the character designs and the costumes and and that robot thing. The Jude Law thing was actually surprising. I didn't even know he was on the show, so that was kind of cool. At first, I thought it was um, I thought, oh God, I'm really bad. Ewan McGregor. I thought it was him. Like, yeah, I thought it was him. Just like he just looked skinnier with a haircut. But like, I was just like, wait, that's not Obi-Wan. Oh, that's somebody new. Okay, cool. So finally, like they're just bringing in some new stuff. So I'm kind of excited for that.
I'm completely excited. We don't know anything about the history of this Jedi person. We don't know if he's good or bad.
Do we know at all where in like the timeline this takes place? Like, is this like before or after a particular movie or show or something?
I hope not. I hope it's just its
I don't
own
know.
standalone. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's going to take place in the same world, but I'm just curious of like,
Yeah.
do we have to worry about, you know, Ray Skywalker and the new characters that were introduced in the movies, or are we going to worry about the old Skywalkers and the Mandalorian and Grogu and all of them because they were all like prequel stuff. So I'm just curious. Not that it matters, but I'm curious of what world they're in right now.
Well, it kind of does matter because, I think that's always what's been kind of the Disney problem or the MCU problem is
Uh-huh.
what takes place before and during and after. We don't have
Well, I
that time
mean,
to just actually enjoy.
that's what I was gonna say. Actually, I mean, everybody has their own interests into why like they're sucked into these shows and stuff. But like, don't spend so much time criticizing a show just because it's not in the timeline that you want or the world that you want or the characters that you want. Enjoy the ride, have fun with it. But I was just curious about it just in general, just so I can like mentally know what characters are living in that world right now. Not that I care if they even show up in that world. Like I'm in it for the ride also.
But no, it didn't say that it took place any place. It just said that it was
Mm,
just a story.
okay.
And sometimes
That's
you
fair.
just have a story.
Sometimes that's all it's gotta
He's
be.
a kid.
Yeah.
You don't burden these kids with, death and destruction.
There was
What's
a
going on with the order?
I'm always on Twitter. So there was a Twitter argument going on with somebody posted that they weren't happy with Sam Wilson as Captain America portrayal in the recent trailer because he landed so hard on the ground when he was like flying down in the trailer and he slams onto the ground and they were like, that doesn't make sense. His legs would have been broken. He doesn't have super soldier serum. And like I just had to respond back and just say that it's a comic book movie. Like just have fun with it. Doesn't matter. Just please just enjoy the movie for what it gives you. That's it. Like nobody looks for a Fast and the Furious movie and expect it to win an Oscar. Like it's just a fun mindless movie. That's it.
They went to the moon, by the
They
way. The
went to the
moon.
freaking moon. I'm pretty sure. I
Moon.
guarantee you, in the next 10 years, we're gonna get a Transformers / Fast and Furious crossover. Who cares?
That just
Have
might
fun with
happen.
it.
It might happen after all. Who even knows? Why not? I know there has been a huge delay on that movie. What's interesting is because there were so many flops, I believe at Lionsgate, they're scaling back the movie. So remember we
Really?
were supposed to get a part 11, which is technically part 2?
Yes.
Yeah, they scaling all of that back. They want them to go back to their roots. And Vin Diesel is
Uh,
not. I don't know if
Happy
Vin
with it.
Diesel is up for that. I mean, you went to the space and now you just want us to go to the racetrack. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Maybe those
But yeah,
budgets had
okay.
gotten too bloated. But go ahead, let's go ahead.
An answer for you in regards to where this is take place.
Okay.
Skeleton Crew is confirmed to be set 5 years after Return of the Jedi, joining the likes
Oh,
of The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, and falling between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy.
yes, it's between. Okay.
But everybody just like they're happy,
Okay,
and it's
that's
clean.
fine. Yeah, that's fine with me.
So it just they happy. Um, yeah. So according to Lucasfilm, Skeleton Crew is concurrent with The Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
Ah,
But it's important to note that the studio is refusing to clarify anything further.
yeah.
So who knows? Grogu could pop up in there and speak his first words. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he'll talk in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that nobody asked him.
Is it a movie? I thought it was another show.
See, sir, this is why we have to do the Disney 23 Brazil, because it is a whole movie.
I thought it was a show. I mean, I heard about the reveal, but I thought it was. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say show because I know nowadays we have miniseries, and miniseries is very different from a show. But I assumed it was a miniseries, not like a full length movie. Mm.
It's a movie in the theater where you pay money for,
Interesting.
and you
Okay,
have to see it in
I'll
IMAX
definitely,
because it
I'll
makes you
definitely
think.
see it.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. So it should be really, really interesting. I'm interested more in seeing what Jude Law is playing with that Jedi character. They always like their mysterious peoples. I'm wondering if he is a bad guy who ends up turning into a good guy because we've seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
But again, looks like something out of Indiana Jones, and it looks fantastic, and it looks wonderful, and I look forward to seeing it. So, are there any other thoughts that you have?
No, that's it. I just hope they take their time with these Star Wars stories. They don't saturate it like they did initially when Disney first took it over. They need to calm their asses down with these movies. Like they're like, we talked about magic, and the magic of Star Wars is slowly dying right now because they just tried to throw everything at us ever since they made that Han Solo movie, and everything from that movie and on since that year, it's just been constant, just a barrage of Star Wars crap, and people haven't been happy. So just take your time, get some good writers, have some fun.
Just let John Favreau continue leading everything, and it should be fine.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about the Han Solo, and then what was the other one? The Donald Glover movie.
Jesus, what was his name?
I forgot, but it was his own movie, right? Or was he just
Yeah.
in Han Solo?
No, it was it a show? Was it a
No, it
show?
wasn't a
I can't
show. It was
remember.
a movie. This was like
I think it was a movie.
before Disney Plus existed.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I can't remember his name. Oh, Lando, the Lando Calrissian thing. It was Lando. Yeah. No thanks. I love Donald Glover. He's an amazing actor and artist, but nope, wasn't for me.
I completely agree with you. So, yeah, that's everything that we have to say about those two trailers, and we look forward to them actually coming out and seeing what happens. So, once again, I am your host, Dana. I am joined by Mr. Danny Martinez. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good pain smile. Have a great day, afternoon, evening, and catch you later.
All right. Be good.